Just a moment, as it is LCOP atop your screen for Nova, Javi 14 at the bottom for Vivo Keed, and can Javi get his mind right here to come back in on this big moment? He knows he has to get a win to send his squad to King of the Hill.
Oh wow, and LCOP coming out with the Hog Rider, not really as traditional as we've seen. I mean, he's definitely played Hog Rider before, but not his favorite archetype.
Well, Hog Rider, and so it's not going to be 2.6. He did feel like that maybe a little bit here. A very aggressive opening Hog Rider here from the Chinese player. Yeah,
and we look at LCOP's head-to-head gameplay. He's only played Hog Rider one time before. It was Hog Rider, Ice Wizard, Mega Minion, essentially, with that NATO and Tombstone in there. Obviously, a rocket on the end as his big spell. I'm pretty surprised he's coming out with this, but I understand it.
Well, there's the Ice Wizard, and so you see at least some of those pieces are here. Interesting miner in the back for Javi, playing that miner defensively. He's trying to cycle himself back to his Prince and make the defense happen.
This is a very interesting push. I wish I could look into the mind of Javi 14 and how he created this push, because you saw miner in the back, Prince up front, Giant at the river. He had a plan. And that plan is to let that Giant get to the tower. Wow, what a great NATO. One of the harder plays in the game is NATOing the Giant to the King Tower. Now the Golem going to the King Tower, not as difficult to NATO, but a great Giant King Tower activation.
And what set that Giant King Tower activation up was the Tombstone pulled all the way on the inside, so the Giant was playing on the inside of that Princess Tower within NATO range.
Absolutely, Rich. And the card that I believe was played before in this deck, he had the Ice Golem in and the Mega Minion in, replaced now by the Ice Spirit and the E-Drag to kind of keep his cycle quick.
You see Javi playing that miner just one tile high there, missing an extra shot, so you gotta wonder now if Javi, after that NATO activating the King Tower, is playing a little bit reckless now.
Yeah, that is very, very true, and only 1,300 HP on his bottom left-hand tower. This is the set the World Finals is lying on right now.
Fireball does take care of a lot of that stuff to deal with these, and the zap, maybe a little bit of an overspend there on those skeletons?
Yeah, maybe, Rich, maybe.
And so this time, Miner on the inside to help with that Ice Spirit. And the NATO actually pulls the Giant over to the other tower, but with these Ice Wizards, that Giant not going to get a single shot.
Yeah, and Javi 14, once again, not really having the answers he needs. That E-Drag coming in, he can completely ignore that Hog Rider, not going to do enough to take that tower down. And really, this is the moment for Javi to create a big push to try and take this game.
Could Ice Wiz NATO Tombstone be the combination that wins World Finals in the first season of CRL? It has been so dominant this fall. Could it dominate one more time in the most important moment of the year?
You know, Rich, it is really, really looking like it. It is so hard to break through that combination. I mean, LCOP here just playing out of his mind. And that Hog Rider is going to get 2 swings in.
Huge moments. Now we are in sudden death overtime, so these next few moments are going to really decide everything here. Tornado and a lot of fireball value.
Wow, and that, honestly, that's the moment. That's it right there. This is going to be game 1 going to LCOP. Just way too much spell value. He's playing way too calm and collected, and that Hog Rider is going to come in. Once again, not able to stop the Hog Rider from getting a hit, even with the fireball coming down and the Mega Minion.
And Javi choosing to go opposite side over and over and over again. Lots of lane switching here for Javi 14, so kind of falling behind there as well. He's maybe choosing that lane because the Tombstone went that side.
Yeah, and this is honestly almost a little frustrating to watch. I mean, not even because we're rooting for anybody, but it's just you got to see how hard it is for Javi to break through. He has nothing to defend that Hog Rider, and it's just one of those matchups once again. So the trick to beating Javi 14 is getting the matchup advantage.
There you go, and that log finished it off, but there was a log right before that as well, as that last Hog Rider came in that just knocked the Prince back enough for the Hog Rider to get a swing and not get caught. So LCOP playing really focused right now, getting the tiny interactions he needs to get the victory, and now he is just one game win away from securing the World Championship for Nova Esports.
The first ever CRL World Finals lie on this next game. China looking to be the first country to take home that massive trophy.
So take a look at this defensive play here from Elsiop. Andrew, walk us through the action.
Yeah, I mean, Elsiop throughout this entire game, we you know, actually in this moment, I believe you and I were discussing how powerful the Icewiz NATO Baby Dragon combo is. I mean, excuse me, Icewiz NATO Tombstone combo is, and it's just so powerful.
And there's that log I spoke about earlier, just knocking the Prince back enough to make sure it didn't stop that Hog Rider. And at that point, it was just all done, waiting to get the log back and cycle and finish things off. See the frustration on Javi 14's face.
Yeah, definitely frustrated, because that is a really tough matchup for him, not having a way to stop that Hog Rider. The Ice Spirit coming in a pretty quick cycle throughout, and Elsiop again playing so well. He's 14-6 overall in sets in the regular season, excuse me, in games in the regular season, 7-2 in sets, and in head-to-head play, he's 14-7, Rich.
Javi 14 has to figure something out here. He has to win 2 in a row against Elsiop, who many consider to be one of the best in the world. So it's a tall order here for the young Spaniard, trying to keep his squad in the mix and send them to King of the Hill. But what does he have in his pocket to pull out in this moment?
Absolutely, and you know what? Even if Javi 14 does take this game, he's got to go in and win King of the Hill as well with his team. So now Nova Esports, a little bit of cushion, a lot of cushion.
A lot of cushion, absolutely. Now they have to win just one of these two, and then you go to King of the Hill with one of the most stacked lineups on the planet. So Nova Esports has to feel pretty good right now.
Yeah, against a crippled team with only 3 players on our way. This is the biggest game of the day.
Game 2.
Big breath from Javi 14. He now is feeling the weight of the situation. Elsiop just checking his face. I think I'm doing all right.
And you're reminded on the side of your screen there, Vivo Key taking that 2v2 set, Nova taking back-to-back 1v1 sets, and that first 1v1 set, Javi fell to Little Chen, and now 1 game away for Nova Esports.
And another high battle ram coming from a Vivo Key player.
A 6 elixir response out of Elsiop, so maybe that's what they're going for, but it doesn't matter if you get a 6 elixir response and then you leak 6 elixir. What's that all about? Maybe early on, maybe?
Who knows? Absolutely wild. I mean, that might have been from the opening, I'm thinking.
And an interesting NATO there, mitigating all the damage.
Just Elsiop saying, you're not going to do anything to me. I'm not letting anything happen here.
Yeah, he probably recognized that the Wizard was a little too low to activate King Tower, and that was a nice, a positive 1 elixir trade.
So here we are, a spam variation coming now from Javi 14 with the Dark Goblin and the Goblin Gang, and now again we're seeing NATO and Tombstone. Do we expect an Ice Wizard here as well, or the Baby Dragon and Electro Dragon sufficient with this combination?
That's actually a very good question. It could be sort of double Dragon, you know, Royal Giant deck. It could be Golem with this combination. We've definitely seen Golem decks with these cards. Fireball coming in.
And Javi playing fast and loose right now, trying to get that Dark Goblin on tower. Not going to work. So here he follows up with the Goblin Gang. Maybe, you know, no, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
Okay, now with the Tombstone out of cycle, this is where Javi needs to create a big push. There's no building to respond to the Battle Ram. However, that E-Drag is so brutal in stopping any card with the charge, whether it be the Bandit, whether it be the Dark Prince, or the regular Prince, or obviously the Battle Ram. And there is the Royal Giant.
And there you go, Royal Giant immediately ramming in the opposite lane, and now the P.E.K.K.A. is down, so a little bit of P.E.K.K.A. E-Wiz bridge spam with some Goblin variants inside.
And now this is a very interesting matchup, because obviously the P.E.K.K.A. is going to make quick work of that Royal Giant. Does get the log in on the Dark Goblin. Now he needs to support this P.E.K.K.A. He's been leaking a decent amount of elixir, but it is even with Elsiop.
I think that log might have been a bit of an overspend there. That Royal Giant was going down anyway. Maybe he was trying to get an extra shot, but now it looks like Javi 14 starting to take control of the action.
Yep, and now this Battle Ram is going to be caught by that E-Drag, but it should create a lane for this Royal Ghost.
And the E-Wiz not going to do enough to stop all the shots from the Lumberjack.
Wow, and all those units just went down immediately on the right-hand side of the screen. It looked like we might have a huge amount of damage coming for Javi 14. And he gives out the thanks because he gets the Royal Ghost in the left-hand lane, but picked up quickly by the Lumberjack.
We are now in sudden death overtime. Javi 14 cannot lose a tower, or that is it for Vivo Key.
This is it. This is the biggest game of the day. LCOP just moments away from maybe securing the very first CRL World Finals for Nova Esports.
Royal Giant in the back, going to be easily met by this P.E.K.K.A, although you might see potentially the E-Drag going to support that Royal Giant and get in the P.E.K.K.A's way a little bit.
You know what has to happen here, Rich? That Royal Ghost has to be the it factor for Javi 14. There's no way he's breaking through with the Battle Ram, with the Tombstone, with the E-Drag. He has got to figure out a way to get that Royal Ghost to do his dirty work.
And there we go.
Oh,
the
wow.
Battle Ram does get on tower.
Connect.
Royal Ghost thinks it's
Oh my gosh, that's tower down.
Oh my gosh.
How did that just happen?
Unbelievable. Javi 14. Again, I've said it before, knockout artist, and what he'll do is take big risks in the big moments and try to get them to pay off, and that's the biggest one.
And look at him now. He is laser focused. He takes a quick glance over at LCOP, knowing he kind of got away with one in there. In my mind, I don't know what happened. LCOP very frustrated with what he did. I think he overcommitted in that left-hand lane, maybe on offense. I don't know what happened there, but that push from Javi was magnificent, masterful, and wow, LCOP is paying for it.
All right, so first we're taking a look at the P.E.K.K.A here, taking care of the Royal Giant, even with that Electro Dragon in support, but then the big damage on the right-hand side. So here we go, the Fireball making enough room, and I'm trying to see through the smoke. Looks like the Royal Ghost does get on tower along with the Barbarians still from that Battle Ram, so there you have it. Javi 14 extending the life of his squad.
Here we go, game number 3 of this final 1v1 set. Before we get into King of the Hill, everything lying on this again, but now Javi 14 in a great position to bring his team one step closer, breathing a little bit more life into his team to get to King of the Hill. LCOP still has a cushion though.
Yeah, LCOP still can afford to lose this and stay in the game, so man, you got to wonder, though, what is going through his mind. You can see a nice side there from LCOP as well, so he is starting to feel it.
I mean, how could you not? And Javi trying to stay zen. Both of them deep, deep breaths on this stage, 10 feet away from one another. The energy in this room, the tension in this room is palpable, and we are just about to get into game number 3.
Just trying to find a way to stay calm in this moment. You know, you think, okay, sure, LCOP has a cushion here, but he wants this win.
1v1 Game 3.
You know, Rich, when I'm at home trying to get a new trophy high, my hands, my palms are sweating, I'm stressed out. I cannot imagine how these two gentlemen feel.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can't feel their hands at this point.
Shout out to our buddy Frost on 100 Thieves.
So here we go, 2 tombstones on the board, and Hog again from LCOP.
Now the big question here is, does Javi 14 have the answers? He does have the tombstone, which is already a much better start than earlier on.
And there you go, Javi going to the miner. And you know, and there we see it, the tombstone, you knew that was going to be in the deck as soon as you saw the Ice Whiz and the tombstone. So the miner going to be in trouble here a little bit. The question is Javi also running a NATO somewhere?
Yeah, very, very interesting. 2 swings in from that shovel on the miner, right-hand side of your screen. Left-hand side definitely also took a little bit of damage from LCOP's tower took a little bit of damage.
And I'm assuming that we do not have a tornado here for Javi at this point.
Yeah, most likely not, but I'm very curious to see what his last couple cards are.
The Ice Whiz just slowing down the Inferno Dragon enough to survive, and it's Lava Miner.
Yep, there it is.
Javi really cannot afford to fall behind in this situation.
That E-Drag coming out for LCOP has been so detrimental to Javi 14's game plan. Although last game, somehow he was able to sneak that Battle Ram through. Hog Rider comes in, gets a couple hits on that right-hand side.
And here we go, the Miner hoping to tank for these pups, although that NATO combination, and here you go, you're seeing Tornado actually having some value. Oh, but the E-Drag goes down, a lot of damage in the left-hand lane.
A really, really nice play there by Javi14. It looked like LCOP had it all cleaned up defensively, but just a few breaking through and a 300 damage lead for Javi14.
You know, the problem was he NATO'd all those pups directly onto his own Electro Dragon, and they killed it pretty much immediately.
That's a very, very good point, Rich, and that's not what he wanted to do. Maybe pulling them farther away, farther towards the center of the map is what he's going to do from now on.
Oh, the slow and stun combination of the Ice Wiz and the Electro Dragon is so nasty.
And an interesting Hog Rider there played to try to pick up that Miner, just mitigating a little bit of that damage, but obviously splitting lane pressure, or splitting lanes, splitting up your damage with Hog Rider is not ideal, but wow! Was that 4 hog hits?
That was a lot, so maybe, you know, he knew that Javi was trying to get aggressive and go hard in the paint on the left-hand side. And now at 775, LCOP is in great position here trying to take that left-hand tower.
Yeah, I was going to say, that Hog Rider's got to come down. I'm surprised at the fireball there from LCOP, a bit aggressive. That Hog not getting a hit in, but the E-Drag does get a hit.
It all comes down to this moment right here, I believe, Andrew. Can a push right now win this thing for Javi14? If not, it seems like, and there you go, NATO to the tower. It really feels like LCOP is just moments away from closing this thing out and winning the championship.
Is
for Nova Esports.
400 HP away, Rich, to be precise, and that fireball coming in is huge.
And nothing to stop the Hog Rider. It's going to get swing on the tombstone.
That's it! Nova is the first ever CRL World Champions!
And there you have it. The fire goes up. It's a gold stage LCOP. You know, he was overshadowed a bit in the regular season by his teammate AUK, but in the biggest moment, he closes things out and wins the World Championship for Nova Esports.
He is riding high. Javi14 trying so hard for his team, but Nova Esports coming out on top. As we just said, they are the first ever World Champions of the Clash Royale League.
Unbelievable, and it was just that Hog Rider wasn't quite enough there. You're seeing show of respect from the entire Chinese team. They know how good Javi14 is, and the way he played today just had a couple of tough moments here. On the biggest stage, he showed for himself very well, but the story right now is Nova Esports. They were the favorite coming in, and they showed why.
Yes, they got that first round bye from an incredible performance by LCOP at that seeding tournament, and once again, how poetic. He gets them the first round bye, he closes out the set number 4, forcing them to not go to King of the Hill, Nova Esports. Nova Esports is the champions of the day.
That fully gold podium and crown, you know, you might say heavy laid the crown, Andrew. Well, they'll be wearing it for a while.
Absolutely, and you know what? You said it before, we're gonna say it again. Favorites coming in, first round bye, and honestly, they deserved it.
Unbelievable play from top to bottom, and you know, you saw that 2v2 set go the way of Vivo Keed, and you were like, this could be a big problem. But it all comes down, really, I think, to that first 1v1 set of Javi14 versus Little Chen.
And you know what? We got to give a lot of credit to Little Chen. Very, very frustrated. But first, we got to celebrate.
Ladies and gentlemen, クラロワリーグ世界一決定戦2018優勝チームへ大きな拍手を
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2018 Clash Royale League World Finals champions, Nova Esports.
champions. It takes all 5 to raise that very heavy trophy, and it took all 5 to win this championship today.
Absolutely, Rich. I could not be more honored to be here at World Finals. What an amazing day.
44 teams, over 20 million players around the world, all came down to 6 here at the World Finals and 1 to be your champion.
We will see you next year, CRL.